Welcome to Storytime at the Rubus, a weekly podcast about the Bonnaroo Music and Arts Festival. I'm your host, Sharla.
And I'm Daniel, and this is kind of a bonus episode. We had plans to do a collab episode with the Bonnaroo, but he's traveling out west. I've been seeing Snapchats from him from out in like Utah and, like unbelievable places like that.
Oh my goodness, his travel looks incredible.
Yeah, so I think he will have a little bit to tell us about that.
I hope so.
You and I are going to travel out that way before too long. We're going to talk about that towards the end of the episode.
We are.
Yeah, so this is a little bit of a loosey-goosey, fun bonus episode. I just wanted to get something out there and not entirely skip a week because I know everybody's out traveling. You might want to have some Bonner friends to hang out with and such. How you been doing, Charles?
Good.
Yeah?
Did you just use the term Bonner friends?
Yeah, why not?
I love that.
I just made that up. What was the term that Mitchell used a while back? Was it Bonnaboos?
Bonnaboos?
Yeah, we'll go with that one too. I feel like a lot of people really got hooked on the community finally having gotten together a couple of weeks ago. Actually, it was a month ago. Can you believe that?
A month ago.
Yeah, it's flown by already, yeah. I like keeping the community going throughout the summer. We're about to enter a dead period before too long.
Oh, absolutely. And that lull, you have that when it's fresh and you have the Bonner Blues and
yeah, tell me about
it. Then it turns into that lull where nobody's really thinking about it, that dead period.
Yeah.
I don't want to have that dead period.
I don't either. It really is kind of dead up until we get kind of teases about the pre-sale come Thanksgiving. But from now until then, there isn't really that much going on. And I wish that wasn't the case.
Right.
I wish there was something that Bonnaroo could do in an official capacity to keep it going
Right.
all year, as opposed to being hey, we're going to send out stuff hoping you buy tickets for a number of months. Then we have it, and then that's the end. We'll do the whole cycle again. Wouldn't it be cool if there were Bonnaroo hosted events throughout the country, just little small parties
That'd
or something
be so
like
cool.
that?
Yeah. I mean, I know they have other festivals to promote and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, something to keep that momentum going.
Years ago, when they had the lineup announcements, they would host these small parties at bars and record shops and stuff like that. You remember it was the Blam. Bonnaroo lineup announcement megathon or something like that. It was a cool stream that they hosted. Weird Al hosted it one year back in 2013.
Yeah.
And they, for 1 year or 2 years, had those little events. I wish they would bring that back. Maybe
Those were so cool.
Have a halfway to Bonnaroo event, 6 months after Bonnaroo, somewhere in Nashville, Knoxville, Atlanta, something like that. I mean, we can host it. Other Bonnaroo groups can host it.
Yeah,
It'd be cool.
I'd be all about that.
Yeah, maybe we will later on. But it just would be cool if Bonnaroo would do that in an official capacity because it really should be something that goes on 365 days a year,
Stay true.
Yeah, exactly. That's part of the code. Hey, Charlotte, one thing I wanted to talk about for this little mini episode is kind of take a look at what we thought about community stuff going on this year and what could use improvement. So Seth, the Bonnaroo, and I are going to talk next week about infrastructure improvements, what we thought worked and what didn't, and kind of what we would like to see 5 years from now, 10 years from now. But that's officially provided stuff from, C3 and Live Nation and stuff. I want to talk with you a little bit about what worked and what could be improved for community activations and stuff at Bonnaroo.
Okay.
So we were spoiled. We got to park the bus over at Plaza 5 right next to where they were doing all that kind of stuff, right?
Oh, we were very spoiled.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there were two little venues. There was the Galactic Giddy Up, which was kind of basically a big living room that had a little miniature stage. And then the big stage kind of near the road, where it was basically the same kind of production as this or that tent, I thought.
Yeah, we were parked next to the Galactic Giddy Up, which was Plaza 5, and then they had the big stage out there as well.
Yeah. So let's talk about the whole group plaza to begin with. Do you feel like it could be in a better spot?
Yes.
Yeah. Tell me why you say that.
Absolutely. I mean, group, you have to pay extra to do group. And you're paying, a lot of people are paying for, to have a better spot, essentially.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that was discussed before Bonnaroo thoroughly.
Yeah. Before they took away the tower entrance as well.
Well, yeah, the tower entrance, yes.
I kind of feel just me personally, and I'm not really considering the logistics of this just yet. I think it would be cool if the group area was in a more central location. You mentioned in passing a week or two ago that you thought it should be kind of near House of Yes, as opposed to the cowboy theme.
I mean, I just think that'd be a cool location for it. Honestly, this is totally just my opinion. And I did put this on the survey.
Yeah.
I don't think the cowboy theme is a good theme for group.
It was cool for them to try something different, but I agree.
I mean, I think the plaza was great, and the stage was fantastic.
The people helping us were fantastic,
The people helping us were, oh my God, they were amazing, wonderful, 10 out of 10, fantastic.
But the cowboy theme.
It was the theme, the whole galactic giddy-up theme itself, the line dancing. I literally would come back to camp at 3 a.m. because I do turn in early a little bit, and they were playing Boot Scootin' Boogie. Literally Boot Scootin' Boogie.
Listen, I never got an answer to where did he come from and where did he go.
And Cotton Eye Joe.
Because they played that every night, and I don't think they found out where did he come from and where did he go. Because I heard that question many, many times.
And this is not in any offense to people who are doing that. I mean, that's cool, whatever, but I just don't think it fit with group. I mean, a lot of people that come to group are, a lot of people, not everybody, but a lot of people that do group are Bonnaroo veterans.
I mean, let's be honest. They've been coming for a long time. They're interested in, sometimes jam bands. They're playing, Grateful Dead and STS-9 out in the campgrounds and stuff.
Right,
Not necessarily Alan Jackson.
Right, jam bands, EDM.
Although I do enjoy a good ride on the Chattahoochee. It is hotter than a hoochie coochie this week.
I just don't think that theme itself was a fit.
I do think it's a good thing for another plaza.
Right.
They previously had kind of a Nashville theme to that one barn that's over next to the Grove, where they have all those trippy statues where you see all the hammocks and everything. That's a good fit. They should showcase Tennessee and Nashville. And a lot of that is traditional country music. There is a space for that at Bonnaroo. There totally should be.
Yes.
But is it the space where all the group people should be? I don't think so.
And it's funny because I say all that as someone who loves me some 90s country music. And you know that I love me some 90s country music.
Mitchell gifted Sharla the Garth Brooks double live on vinyl. Or is it quadruple live? It's some giant live set.
No, it's not. It's just all of Garth Brooks' albums on vinyl.
That was a kingly gift.
It was a kingly gift, yes.
Oh my gosh. Actually, that's a whole other topic we'll discuss another day. I do think it would be cool to have a country headliner at Bonnaroo. We kind of did with the Chicks this year.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking Garth. That would be awesome.
Be way too expensive.
Way too expensive? He puts on a fun show. He would be a great fit for Bonnaroo. But that's a talk for another day. But yeah, I agree with you. I'd like to keep the Space Cowboy theme, but maybe it's best at another plaza where they don't have to ask us at 4 a.m, where did he come from? And where did he go? We still don't know. Mm. There's no telling where he went at Bonnaroo. Okay, so other things. Do you feel perhaps there could be more community involvement at that plaza or other ones? I was looking at the schedule after the fact. They were very, very kind to accommodate the crazy stuff we wanted to do. And they had Red Roo's Beer Exchange. And they had Ruham's Emo Night. But I think that was it, unless I'm missing something. It's very possible I'm forgetting something right now.
To my knowledge, that was all that, as far as community events.
Yeah.
Now, that could have been all that was asked.
Yeah. Now, there was a community liaison that was provided to a lot of us. But there was never really a formalized process about submit your event.
Right, exactly.
You just kind of had to know the right people and, just kindly ask sooner or later, It would be cool if there was a form or some kind of process where you'd be like, hey, this is what we want to do. This is what we think we need to do it. Bonnaroo, can you accommodate this? And then they could ask you oh, okay, we got the sound. How many people do you ballpark guess would be there? It'd be cool if there was a better way for community groups and leaders to do that, I think.
Right.
Because there is a lot of cool stuff that people are doing unofficially,
Exactly. Because I know we have had groups reach out to us, like the bus.
Yeah.
We've had groups message our social media and say, hey, I want to put on this event. Do you know who I talk to? Or can you help me with this, etc.
And we can point them to Jenna, the lady that does a fantastic job organizing the group area. But to my understanding, her main job is to pick the space where people are going to go and coordinate people coming and going in the group, not necessarily as an event coordinator. And I could be wrong about that, but that was the way I took it. That's her main job. There isn't somebody that is a group event coordinator. Maybe that's a position they could look at, I suppose. I don't know. I'll give you a good example. The girl that gave us the amazing painting, she also did the toy exchange.
Julia,
yeah, that's right. Thank you. she had a great idea for the toy exchange and didn't really have a great venue or support for that until the parachute people came along and offered to host it at their little tent inside of Planet Root. Great fit for that, by the way, because they're all about, getting people engaged and playing with stuff and everything. You remember a couple of years ago, there was the girl that wanted to put together Bonnaroo.
Prom, yeah.
She was going to tell everybody to show up at Where in the Woods at a certain time. But wouldn't it be cool if Bonnaroo was like, hey, this is cool. Why don't you use this plaza to do Bonnaroo for an hour or two? That's something that somebody like that, either for the toy exchange or Bonnaroo, put it on a form. They'll get you in touch. Like, hey, this is cool. It really doesn't cost anything to do this. Are you going to do this? Cool. Here's the space. Here's 2 hours. Here's the speakers.
Well, they probably don't do that, Daniel, because of liability reasons.
Well,
So you have to think about things like that.
Well, let me push back. We did some crazy stuff, and we had Bonnaroo support. We never had to worry about that. We hosted the stuff on Tuesday. We had the Welcome to Bonnaroo thing. We had a DJ party. Never had to worry about that. I think that's inherently something that you sign off on when you buy your ticket and come through the gate.
True.
When it comes to liability.
True.
That's in the fine print when you buy your ticket, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't think that's a big concern. But that's why you have a liaison go over the event.
Right.
Like, hey,
Yay or nay.
Yeah, can we do this? Maybe you should think about doing this part instead of this part for safety reasons or whatever, or for logistical reasons.
It seems like a lot of work.
I've done this kind of thing at different jobs I've had. It's some work, but not a lot of work. That's what I'm saying. Like, hey, Live Nation's got money to throw around. This could be a position.
You and I may have different thoughts on this.
Well, me and you have both worked this kind of event in the past, but from different vantage points.
Yeah.
So,
which is why you and I may have different thoughts on this.
That's okay. All I'm saying is it would be cool if there was a more official process to make these kind of things happen. So there isn't just 3 different Bonnaroo groups putting on community events. I think there should be way more. That's essentially what I'm saying, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Any other community things you noticed this year that you thought were great or maybe could be different or new?
Everything I saw was really great this year.
Yeah.
As far as community-based things.
Yeah. Can I tell you one thing? I think I put this on my personal Twitter a while back. I think I see one area where there could be something fun that could include more people. You may go for it? You may tell you?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, what if, this is a hypothetical, what if you had some event at Bonnaroo that was Bonnaroo speed dating? Now, let me back up. You see a lot of people that come in single to Bonnaroo, and they get a Bonnaroo boo. They meet somebody at a show. Maybe they end up dating after the fact. That's great. That's fantastic, because you met somebody that probably shares some of your favorite bands in common. If they're going to Bonnaroo, you already have something in common, so that's a great basis for a relationship with anybody, right? Mm-hmm. But then you got a lot of people who don't have like all the same social tools or a little introverted. I think it sucks that people get left out,
Yeah.
Maybe people just don't have the right ways of meeting people. I don't want anybody feeling left out in any way at Bonnaroo. So, listen, you and I started dating in like 11th grade, but I can tell you, before that, it sucked.
I was in college.
What?
I like to point out I was in college.
Okay, I was between 11th and 12th grade, and she had just graduated when we started dating and everything. But before that, I remember being lonely all the time. I can't imagine going to Bonnaroo as a single guy and seeing everybody meet people and see the beginnings of a relationship and feeling like left out, thinking like, oh, this sucks. Nobody really likes me in that way.
But I see what you mean.
Yeah. And I know of a few people that were in that situation and kind of had a little bit, they had a great time at Bonnaroo, but that part was a little bit of a bummer.
No,
right?
I think that'd be a cool event. I really do.
Yeah. So it's nothing serious. Maybe you would do some funny and goofy things to keep it lighthearted and everything, but it's like, hey, you got 5 to 10 minutes. We're going to hit the buzzer. Then you switch tables and you meet this other person.
Yeah, no, that'd be cool, I think. I think that'd be fun.
And if you hit it off with somebody, great. You should go to a show together. If you don't, well, whatever. At least you got to meet some cool people. Give it a shot. Put yourself out there.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. That may be something I try to get going next year. Because, I hate the idea that people are falling through the cracks in some way. Right. And I ain't saying, like a relationship or, just having a Bonnaroo boo, that ain't everything. You can certainly have fun as a person on your own or as a single person.
Well,
but if that's something
even just making friends, I'm such an introvert sometimes, just going somewhere, and if I went by myself, I would just feel, oh my goodness, I would feel overwhelmed.
Yeah.
I might get there and feel overwhelmed.
And it doesn't even have to be speed dating for what's traditionally defined as dating. It's just be like, hey, I'm an introvert. This is a great platform for me to meet cool people.
Right.
If something comes of it, great. If it doesn't, well, whatever.
Speed friends.
Speed friends. Speed friends. Speed dating, whatever. I don't know. I wanted to get it on the podcast just so we can get some feedback. I wanted to hear from people like, do you think that's a good idea?
I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be a fun event.
It's the seed of an idea that I might want to host at the Rubus next year.
I think it'd be fun. I like it.
Okay. Charlotte votes for it. Everybody, let's please hear your feedback. But yeah, kind of want to get that out. I'm going to save the infrastructure stuff for me and Seth to talk about next week, and you'll probably be there too, right?
I'll be there.
Yeah, I need you to help out with that too, because there's stuff that you probably noticed that we didn't. Do you want to move over to talking about Burning Man stuff?
Okay.
Yeah. Or did you have any other Roo stuff you wanted to hit up on before we move over and shift gears?
As far as community stuff?
Yeah.
I think we covered it.
Covered it?
Community-based stuff.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to thank our Patreons, and we'll be back with Burning Man stuff.
Hey, this is future Sharla coming in to thank the Patreons.
Why don't you go through the list, Charles?
Is it Patreons or patrons?
I mean, I guess you could go either way. Doesn't matter.
Okay. Aaron, Preston, a.k.a. Presto, Nick, Maddie, Sean, McFerg, Andrew, William, John, Captain Dan, Lucy Young, Benjamin, Ross, Kent, Michael, Randy, Joshua, Madison, Scott, Greg, Eric and Ben, Kristen, Natalie, Beyond the Hypnotic, that's Jace, Evan, Jay, Chloe, and Sean.
Oh, happy birthday to Chloe this past week, by the way.
Yes.
Oh, while we're thinking birthdays, it was also Celia's birthday yesterday as well. Mm-hmm. Happy birthday, everybody.
A lot of birthdays. A lot of cancer people. Cancer,
that sounds bad. Cancer, the astrological sign. Don't worry, everybody makes that joke all the time or whatever. So yeah, you can find us at patreon.com/Rubus. The next 2 months, it is helping to fund the piece of Bonnaroo that we're bringing to Burning Man. But previously, it gave about $1,000 to the Bonnaroo Works Fund. And we're going to go back to that after Burning Man, too.
Like 1,011.
1,011. We have a big novelty check.
They said it was the largest individual donation.
That's the way I understood it. Yeah, that's pretty darn cool.
Well, from a non-corporation. Yeah.
Yeah, so thanks again, guys. We'll talk here in just a second about what that's going to do at Burning Man, but we'll bring it back around to the Bonnaroo Works Fund here in a couple of months. All right, let's go back to other Daniel and Sharla.
Hey, thank you, everybody. That was through the magic of editing.
Yeah, thank you, other timeline Daniel and Sharla. I just honestly didn't have the Patreon list in front of me, so I'm like, I'm going to make an edit later. Just want to get all the names and everything. Okay, let's shift gears. And if anybody wants to tune out, if this isn't your cup of tea, that's totally okay. Charlotte and I are headed to Burning Man here in 6 weeks. Did you realize that? Less than 6 weeks? The reason we're talking about it on the podcast and sometimes talking about it on our social media stuff is because we really feel like this is something that has inspired Bonnaroo in many ways. Rick Farman himself told me when I interviewed him that a lot of things for Bonnaroo came from Burning Man. Like the code is in response to their 10 principles, for example.
Yeah.
Theirs is a little bit more all-encompassing because it, also talks about honestly, it is the same thing. Bonnaroo just summed it up into a few fewer things, I suppose.
Yeah.
And I feel like the way that Burning Man is all about the community is very similar to how the campgrounds at Roo work these days, right?
I think so.
Yeah. Well, that's why we're going. We're going to find out for ourselves and everything.
I guess we'll find out. Yeah.
Yeah. So let me ask you this: what are your fears about Burning Man? Because I have a few. Since it's a big thing we've never done before. Tell me what you are a little concerned about first.
I worry about everybody says the vibes, but...
The vibes, man. The vibes are off, man.
It's a cliche thing to say, but that's one thing I worry about. I mean, I've been to I know they say Burning Man is not a festival, but... I've been to a few other festivals, events. Nothing ever compares to Bonnaroo. Ever. I think anybody listening to this podcast can agree to that. I mean, if you're listening to this podcast,
Okeechobee came pretty darn close for me, I'm going to be honest. But I've
heard Okeechobee and Halloween are pretty close. I've never been to either.
But nothing else comes even relatively close.
But from the things I've been to, personally, nothing nothing hits
Yeah.
like Bonnaroo does. So that's my biggest concern.
There's other similarities apart from like the code and everything. Like the size is comparable to Bonnaroo at its capacity, about 80,000 people, except there's no stages. Like
Right.
the headliners, quote unquote, are the people that are going and are making things happen. It's kind of why it fits hand in hand with what we were talking about community activations, like Red Roo's Beer Exchange or Ruham's Emo Night. Stuff like that is all about what Burning Man is. You ride around on your bike and you see all these different kind of events, like thousands of them. I was looking at kind of the preliminary version of the schedule for Burning Man, and like just on Monday, the first day before it even really gets into gear, the list went on and on and on. There's no way. And I'm kind of purposefully planning on not having a plan. I want to just ride around on our bikes and just see what we can get into and see all the cool art too.
Well, when I say the vibes,
Man.
you know how at Bonnaroo you can just literally walk up to anybody, hey, I love your outfit, or hey, I like your campsite, or hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
I worry about that.
The impression that I've got from the research I've done is that a lot of people that go to Burning Man have a little bit of a purposefully odd attitude online. Kind of similar to how a lot of the crowd on InfoRoo has been in the past. And for anybody that's new to Bonnaroo, InfoRoo is like this big message board that's been around for well over a decade. That's pretty much just about Bonnaroo. And the people that are there are great, amazing people. I hung out with some of them at the Cracker Barrel on Monday after Bonnaroo. But online, they like to troll each other a little bit, Everybody knows it's in good fun. You have to have a little bit of a thick skin.
You're very right, because when I do look up information about Burning Man, it's extremely hard to get a read on the people, because a lot of the questions, I have never asked anything personally, but when someone does ask a question from a newbie stance or from a quote rookie stance, all the questions are answered sarcastically.
Yeah. I don't want to.
It's very hard to get a read.
I don't want to say that they're gatekeeping, but it seems like that kind of attitude is just part of what keeps that community together.
Right.
And the way I understood it is people that go year after year to Burning Man know that stuff is going to go wrong. They know that nothing's going to go to plan. They're going to have some setback, like the wind's going to knock over some structure or something like that, for example. So they kind of have this little bit of a thick skin attitude in response to that. And I think that's kind of a communal thing that they have. As I mentioned this before, it's a common phrase, F you burn. And that's not saying like, screw you in particular. That's saying like something's going to get effed up.
But then again, are they just completely tired of people asking the same
Probably that
questions
too.
over and over and over and over? Because
Listen,
as a Bonnaroo Reddit moderator,
I mean, that's not to say anything bad about anybody. It's just like when you see the same question over and over and over, It's like, hey, come on, we love you guys. Like this has been answered,
Please see the official website.
That's a long running inside joke.
I'm teasing.
I understand what you're saying, and I'm coming in with combative positivity.
Yes.
So
yes,
when
yes.
people are going to have a little bit of a cynical attitude, if they do even, I'm going to combat it by being positive.
I'm sure it's not really like the way I'm thinking. That's just my biggest fear.
We've watched a lot of YouTube videos from the playa from Black Rock City.
I watched a ton, and it seems cool.
People that are actually there seem very similar to how people are at Bonnaroo. They're positive and welcoming and like just cutting up and having a good
wonderful.
Time. So it's a different thing than what I've experienced in the Facebook groups and on the Reddit and stuff, on the Burning Man Reddit. So I don't think you have to worry about that as much. Now, I got a question for you.
Yes.
Our Patreons are helping out with this. How are we going to bring a little bit of Bonnaroo to Burning Man? Aside from purposefully being positive, even in the face of people being a little cynical.
So we thought about doing the structure thing.
Yeah, I still kind of want to do that. There was somebody that was not a far walk from the bus.
Was it Team Day Drunk?
Yeah, it was. It was Team Day Drunk.
Drunk.
They gave me some stickers. They built a miniature PVC arch. I kind of want to do that. I kind of want to go ahead and look to Lowe's or Home Depot. Maybe a smaller one. Theirs was pretty big. It was like 4 or 5 feet tall. A smaller one that we can construct pretty easily. And they had a cool idea. They put some fabric around it as kind of colorful and trippy looking to make their own version of a Bonnaroo arch. So I'm thinking I want to do that too, and not put Bonnaroo on it, but something else. But it'll still be like kind of a bug zapper to people who have also been to Bonnaroo, so we can meet friends who are also Bonnaroovians. I got a pitch for you. Here's what I'm thinking. I want to put up a sign hanging from our canopy, or maybe on the arch itself. It's like positivity for positivity, or trade compliments, or something like that. Everybody's supposed to contribute something to Burning Man. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Okay. Like, so when people walk by our camp and be like, oh, I like your arch, or that Tame Impala thing is cool, or whatever. And then we trade by telling them, like, I love your outfit. Just something small like that, just to bring something positive to them.
Yes.
In the face of somebody telling them, like, F ya burn.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What do you think? You want to do that?
Yes, I love it.
So I'm thinking we could, we got our Patreons helping out. We could construct that little PVC pipe thing and make a nice sign. Maybe I can light it up with some LEDs or something like that. Saying like positivity for positivity, or trade compliments, or I don't know. Help me think of a catchy phrase to put on the sign or the arch.
Okay.
Everybody listen, help us think of something. We'll take a bunch of pictures and we'll document this, because this is a big goal for us. Like, we don't really have any plans about specific things we're going to do at Burning. Well, I got 1 or 2 things. I'll tell you in a minute. But the main thing is we want to bring a piece of Rue to Burning Man in a non-commercial way, because it's supposed to be a place that's totally decommodified, It's not going to say Bonnaroo, like, hey, we're the Bonnaroo people. It's going to have the same ethos. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. The same idea. There are 2 things I want to do when we get there, and I think you already know.
What?
Mainly just ride around at night with bikes.
Well, yeah.
But
no, we're never going to ride around.
Yeah, I'm going to see all the art and meet crazy people and stuff. 2 things. Tycho does an annual sunrise set.
Oh, yeah.
On Thursday of I almost said of Bonnaroo, of Burning Man. I got to go to that. Never seen him. He's one of my favorites. That particular show has been one of my bucket list things for years and years and years. 2, I want to go to the Thunderdome.
Oh, yes.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Can you explain it to people? Or do you want me to?
Have you seen the movie Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome?
Well, it's a giant metal dome. It really is a Thunderdome. It's probably, 20, 30 feet tall. And a lot of people climb on it, and they're the audience. And what they do, there's 2 giant swings inside the dome. So there's 2 people. They pull back, and they swing towards each other. And then they beat the crap out of each other with, like, foam Nerf bats and stuff.
Oh.
And the last person standing wins. I don't think you're going to get hurt that bad. It's with foam bats and stuff. I want to do that. I want to see that. I want the fake violence. It'll be so much fun.
Yay.
So we got to find that and go to that.
I have to go to the Thunderdome.
Yeah, those are the 2 things. But yeah, the main objective is bring a piece of Rue to Burning Man. And we got to document that. Maybe we can have a thing where people write down their things. Like, write down a compliment or something like that. And then we can share that with everyone.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
We got some time. We got 6 weeks to think about it. So this call goes out first to our Patreons. I'll probably put a post up on our Patreon saying, like, hey, give us your ideas for these things. But we'll put a thing out on Twitter too, like, hey, give us your ideas for our little deal at Burning Man. We want to bring a piece of Rue to it and bring it back too. Anything else, Sharla?
No, I think you covered it.
You got it. Yeah. Well, I just want to talk about those 2 things. It's kind of a bonus episode. We'll be back next week with Bonnaroo. If he ever comes back from out west, out like camping in the desert or whatever the heck he's doing. I'm jealous.
If anybody has any suggestions of good places to see between here and...
Oh, yeah, that too. So we have... I think I posted a map of our big loop. So on our way there, we're going to my mom's house in Arkansas first to stay the night there. Then we're going from there to Albuquerque, New Mexico in a day. That takes 11 hours. We can do it, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Going to stay the night there. Then we drive to Vegas, or actually outside of Vegas, Henderson, Nevada, the next day. Then we're going to go from there to Black Rock City. And on the way back, we're going to go through Salt Lake City, and then just outside of Denver, and then Kansas City, and then back home.
So we're going to take a detour on the way there and we're going to go to Rachel, Nevada and see.
I want to go party with the aliens.
Area 51.
Yeah. Now, Brooklyn's been there.
Yeah.
That's the big reason I want to go, because
Yeah.
I want to check out what she saw. She Not only did she go to the Little Alien, we'll get her to talk about this next time she's here. She met a lady that took her out to the gate of Area 51, where people like Naruto ran past it or whatever a couple years ago. Remember? I doubt I'll see that, but I want to go to the Little Alien and see all the little spaceships.
When we go through Texas, we're going to go take a small detour and see the Castaway Crossroads.
From the end of the Tom Hanks movie.
Yeah.
Where he met that lady, right?
Yeah.
And the Cadillac Ranch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's just off the interstate.
Yeah. And I think we go down a piece of Route 66 too. That'd be pretty cool.
We've been all over Route 66.
Well, I love old things like that.
Yeah.
I know it isn't the best time to celebrate America these days with all the bull crap going on, but I love like old school stuff like that, man. Like Cars. The Pixar Cars really got it.
Oh, you go through that one town where
Get it out. What you got?
It's like Shamrock, Texas, and one of the cars, the Hot Rod body shop is based on. Yeah.
Okay.
You can go see that.
Maybe we'll go check that out.
Yeah.
I always want to do this big long road trip. I saw the guy that's Bonnaroo backwards that hooked me and Eric up with those tickets over to the Orion when it opened. He did a big road trip too.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it ain't easy, it's with gas being the way it is, but it's finally coming back down. It's below $4 again here in Huntsville. I don't know if you noticed that. Diesel ain't cheap. I can tell you that firsthand. Not like I drive a big monstrosity that takes a lot of diesel.
Yeah.
Oh, one last thing. If you haven't seen it, if it hasn't released yet, we had a great talk with Lord Taco / Russ from the What Podcast from Lindsay's Creek.
No, it's released.
They put it on YouTube. I don't know if it's out as an audio podcast yet. But go check out the What Podcast YouTube. I know the video is on there, and I think Taco is going to put it on their audio feed next week. We had a great talk about like what we really enjoyed and some things that we think could be improved and things that were great. And also, we awarded Bonnaroovian of the Year to Lindsay because he's been so kind to us. That's already out there. He already knows. We gave him a plaque and everything.
A plaque.
Yeah. Actually, it was just a print inside a picture frame. But
close enough.
Close. I think that covers it. We'll be back Monday or Tuesday, maybe Wednesday if he gets back late with Bonnaroo with our big thing. And then we got some other fun stuff. Also, I want to start getting people on just to tell us about their favorite shows and funny stories that happened to them. So yeah, we'll go through the usual
we need some
suspects.
2022 funny stories.
And what do you mean? That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Funny
That's
story.
what I'm saying.
Funny things that happened this year.
Yeah.
I know about some funny stuff that happened to you.
What?
You going topless down the big water slide.
Oh my God! Stop.
No, that was funny. Okay.
Not that funny.
Yeah, that's a good place to stop it for this week. All right, y'all. We'll see you next week with Bonnaroo. Get out there and radiate positivity. We'll see you soon.
Bye.